former director of analytics for the Obama campaign and the founder of Optimizely, right? Optimizely. And he's going to talk to us about how analytics won the presidential election. Now, if some of you are Fox News viewers and worried about the applicability of this presentation, don't worry. You all will learn and be entertained, I promise you that. So help me give a warm round of applause and a welcome to Dan Siroker.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me all right? No? Well, all right. Thanks, Aaron. So I'm going to start with why I left Google to join the Obama campaign. Then I'll go into some of the things that we achieved and then the lessons we learned in trying to achieve those results. My goal is to share the lessons we learned and make them as broadly applicable as possible, because I know many of you will never be in a political campaign. And so the results that I'm sharing and the lessons we learned hopefully apply to if you're a marketer, if you're a product developer, anything you do, I hope you can take something away from this. So to start, let me tell you why I left Google. In November 2007, I was lucky enough to see Barack Obama speak when he came to Google. And I'll show you in a second a couple clips of what he said. And that really resonated with me. So I left Google within 2 weeks of seeing this and took a leave, went to Chicago, slept on the floor with one person I knew in Chicago. Went back to Google for a bit to finish up my work on Google Chrome, and then joined the campaign full-time as the director of analytics. So let me share a couple clips of Barack Obama speaking when he came to Google to just give some context.
What is the most efficient way to store millions of video data?
Well,
I'm sorry, maybe
no. I think the bubble sort would be the wrong way to go. I am a big believer in reason and facts and evidence and science and feedback. Everything that allows you to do what you do, that's what we should be doing in our government. I want people in technology. I want innovators and engineers and scientists like yourselves. I want you helping us make policy based on facts, based on reason. And I think that many of you can help me. So I want you to be involved. Thank you so much, everybody.
Well, he had me at bubble sort. But I took him literally when he says he wants us to be involved. So I left Google. And I want to share a little bit about how the campaign was organized so you have a sense for how analytics works, how what they call new media works. And that will help give context to you. So at the top of the organizational food chain is the candidate himself. He had a great campaign manager, David Flock, and several offices that reported directly to him. I was part of what was called new media, which in campaign parlance is the word they use to describe everything they don't understand. So that's SMS, email. I'll show you all the list of the different teams we had within the media. There is the online marketing team, email, blog, analytics, design, video, and online organizing. I was the director of analytics. This is what our desk looked like. In the upper right-hand corner there is actually my identical twin brother. And this is our little den of computer monitors. So that's where we worked. It was a team of mostly engineers and analysts, and our goal was to use the data that we had the best way we could in order to optimize what we were trying to achieve. And I'll go into some more details about what are those kind of things we're trying to achieve. But I want to start and do the opposite of what most academic lectures do, and I'm going to start with the results. I'm going to show you some results that you might be familiar with, and then get into some results that you might not be as familiar with. And then I'll explain sort of how we achieve that. So this is a popular vote, an electoral vote. This is something you probably have seen before. These are new media metrics. So these are the metrics that we use to track how we're doing in terms of media. I know it might be a difficult to read, so I'll read it to you. In terms of Facebook friends, during the campaign, we had 2.4 million Facebook friends, about 500,000 from McCain. We had almost 100 million views of YouTube videos that were put on our YouTube channel, compared to just over 20 for McCain. And just to put that into perspective, that's twice the number of people that ended up voting for our opponent. And I want to dive into the website, unique visitors a bit. And you can see that over time, this graph changes depending on when big events happen. So it wasn't so much that we were driving this, but a lot of this had to do with the circumstances of the campaign. Here is the bump for February 5th. There's a lull before the general election, and then a huge upsurge in traffic leading up to the final election. What I think is interesting about this is that it looks very close to our fundraising. So this is the amount of money we raised over time. Blue is for Obama, red is for McCain, and at the bottom here, gray is Hillary Clinton. And this shows you sort of a graph from time, from the beginning of the announcement to the election day, of the money raised cumulatively for that period of time. And so what's neat to see here is that these little yellow dots on this line, these represent contests. These were elections, primary elections that happened leading up to the final election. I think we were really lucky to have that as an opportunity to run experiments. We used each of these elections before the general as test grounds, basically an opportunity for us to try different things out and see what works, and then use that in moving forward as a lesson learned. So that was a huge advantage we had. So, money raised, let me keep on that. So this is the total amount of money that we raised, and I mentioned money because I think it's something that does resonate with your businesses. It's probably something that's more broadly applicable. There are other conversions we cared about, votes and registered, and getting people signed up and volunteering. But in terms of money raised, this is the breakdown. We overall raised $606 million to 201. If you break this down into online versus offline, we raised over $500 million online. I'm going to spend the rest of my talk focusing on how we achieve that. So, lessons learned. The first lesson that I would like to share with you is to define success. And for us, this is what that meant. But what I really care about what I mean with define success is to define quantifiable success metrics. And this is probably the most important lesson, that's why it's the first one I'm talking about. Because by defining quantifiable success metrics, you give yourself a framework to figure out where your bottlenecks are, and what are the things you need to optimize, and then at the end, how you actually were able to move the needle. Did you actually improve the things you care about? I'll show you a couple examples. Here's one of a funnel that we cared about. Not everyone may be familiar with this, but this is basically a funnel of users from the time they get to our website, through ads, through organic, through direct clicks. Once they're on our website, one of the things we ask people to do is to sign up with their email address and for campaign updates, and we send fundraising emails. And the other next step after that is once we get your email address, we'll send you an email asking you to donate. As it turns out, there are a lot of people, probably a lot of people in this room, who are really good at the first and the last steps. And I think a lot of online marketing firms focus on getting people to come to the site, focus on getting more people to your site. But what I noticed when I was at the campaign was that one of the biggest bottlenecks for us was actually what to do with them when they're on our site. How do we optimize and maximize the benefit to our campaign for people who get to our site? So I'll show you a couple of the metrics we used. Just in case this is unfamiliar to some folks. Click-through rate is one of the things we looked at, number of clicks divided by the number of impressions. The sign-up rate, this is a metric that I'm going to do a little multivariate test in this audience with. So keep this in mind. Sign-up rate is the number of sign-ups divided by the number of page views, or the number of opportunities to sign up. And then for sending emails, the thing we cared about most was dollars per recipient. How do we maximize the amount of money on average we're going to get back for each recipient we're sending this email to? So, like I said, this is what it looked like when I showed up. I came there in December of 2007. This is